Welcome to the Dream Life is Real Life podcast with your host, Hannah Hermanson, bringing you real life stories of people who realized their dreams to educate and inspire you to create your legacy of abundance now.
Okay, I am super excited about today's guest. Melisa Celikel is an NLP-Certified business organization consultant and the CEO of Make Shit Happen. She's helped over 250 clients create amazing transformations in their homes, lives, and businesses. She provides tools to simplify the hustle by siphoning down the big ideas that business owners have and organizing their scattered plans. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Yay, I'm so excited to be here.
I know. It's exciting to share. We have a lot of conversations, so to share it with other people is going to be great today. So something that we didn't mention in your bio is that you have kind of a diverse background in working in corporate America and also starting your own professional organizing business. So can you just give us a snapshot of like the type of projects and experiences you've been working on for the past few years that have led you to now being a business organization consultant today?
Yeah, so it's been a journey. I worked 15 years in corporate sales and recruiting for Forbes 100, 200, and 500 companies before burning out, kind of climbing that corporate ladder and leaving that six-figure role to take the leap into entrepreneurship. At the time, my passion was home organization, so kind of like Marie Kondo, but a little sassier and feistier. And my joy and my dream was to help people get organized in their homes so that they could live more productive and efficient lives. And over time, that kind of evolved. I created 2 passive courses. I hired a team, and then I restructured a little bit and pivoted to get into business organization consulting. And the way that that evolved was basically, I always tell my clients, your ideal client is a former version of you. And instead of helping like the busy moms and the Pinterest queens and the shopaholics and stuff like that, that most professional organizers were helping, I found myself attracting entrepreneurs that needed help organizing their homes. And so that kind of organically evolved into also helping those business owners get their businesses organized. So it's been a journey, but here I am.
Yeah, it's such a interesting evolution. And what I love about your story is you've just been kind of like following what's like, of course, follow the passion, follow what the dream is, but then you also take such good feedback from like, wait, all of my favorite clients are entrepreneurs. And like, if they're having this issue in their home, they're also having this issue in their business. So what if I just keep growing and evolving with this feedback that I'm getting?
Exactly. Yeah, I just kind of have been following the money and following the need of my clients. And usually the money comes with it, right? If there's a need and I'm able to solve it, then that's the joy of entrepreneurship, is that's what makes money.
Definitely. And at the same time, you haven't, left any money on the table, right? So you've kind of alluded to this pivoting or this evolution of going from obviously, corporate 9 to 5 to then going, or, however many hours that when people say 9 to 5, I feel like that's just a not a real times period. It's just like a type of work. But anyway,
it's like you get to the office when it's dark and you leave when it's dark. It's like 6 to 6 sometimes. Yeah, I do not miss those days.
Right. And so you had the dream, okay, I'm going to be a professional organizer. And tell us a little bit how you went from being the person who like goes and like does in-home stuff to now being able to have a team, right? Because what I guess I'm trying to get at is like, as you've pivoted or as you've evolved, you haven't left money on the table. You've just continued to diversify your offers and really work smarter. So tell us a little bit about what that's exactly looked like.
Yeah, so I always have enjoyed those business books and business podcasts that talk about adding multiple streams of income to your business. So whether that's in the form of passive courses or networking groups or speaking gigs or all these things that I'm doing, I have always been continually adding and building onto that foundation, which was originally the home organization. So even though my name of my company is Make Shit Happen, which is all about, taking action, SHT stands for Simplify, Hustle, and Transform, I'm able to build on Let's Get You Organized, which is my DBA of my company. So everything is all about efficiency, taking action, getting organized, and everything that I do, whatever stream it is, whatever of the 5 streams, it's all going to come back to that core value of simplifying, hustling, and transforming.
Core values, people. I just need to glean that right now before we get too much further, right? No matter what your brand is or what you're going to end up monetizing with, like, you have got to have your core values in place, because then it doesn't really matter if you're coaching or if you're hustling on the street or if you're giving a presentation, like, the purpose of whatever you're going to put out there. So
Exactly.
continue.
Yeah. And Hannah, you've helped me so much in figuring out, my mission statement and my client avatar. And yes, the avatar for the home organization is different than the avatar for the business organization. But I think when you get to a place of being able to grow and scale in your business, you're able to add on new legs, new streams of income, new team members, and it's all going to come back to that core centerpiece, and then you can have all these limbs kind of coming out of it. So hiring a team has been key in helping me to grow and scale, because obviously I'm not an octopus. I don't have 8 arms, although I'd like to sometimes. So it's key to find those good players that are going to add value to your business.
Yeah. So to help kind of put some applicability to this and help listeners really understand how they can diversify their income, give us a quick snapshot of exactly what you offer now. And then I want to go into a conversation about how you articulate and brand around having, and sometimes it feels like an octopus, like 8 different things going on, but still being cohesive. So first, tell us what all the legs of your business are right now.
Yeah, so home organization is still there. I have a team of 4 that help me around the county. So I'm based here locally in San Diego, California, and it's quite a large community. There's over 3.3 million people here in the city, and it can take about 2 hours to get from Tijuana, like the border of Tijuana, all the way up to Temecula. So 2 hours is kind of a large territory for a service-based business. So what I did was I delegated 4 different team members under my umbrella that serve the different areas of the county, and they're all 1099. So they're all subcontractors. They all have their own businesses. And basically, I dispatch them out to different jobs. Several of them have been graduates from one of my online courses, which is the program for aspiring professional organizers. So once that Marie Kondo show came out, Tidying Up, on Netflix back in December of 2018, people just started going crazy and started saying, oh my gosh, I want to be a professional organizer. Wow, she does this for a living. I can do that too. And so what I help women do is create their own professional organizing business. So that's been a really cool evolution to be able to step out of the trading time for money model and stop working in the actual homes and doing the actual on the ground labor, and be able to provide opportunities for the women that go through my online course and give them an opportunity to actually start building their portfolio here in San Diego.
Yes. Okay.
So that's
so we have so far we have the course, the professional organizer course, where you teach people how to do this, and then you also help. You still dispatch organizers and are able to manage in-person organizing gigs, if you will.
Yep. And then so I like to make sure that everything relates, right? Like those two obviously relate. There's a symmetry between the two. Then we get into the organizational consulting. So say that a lot of our home organizing clients are also business owners. That being said, I have seen cross-pollination of the home organizing clients turning into my B2B clients. So right now I also have the B2B organizational consulting, where essentially I take those big ideas from big creative entrepreneurial dreamers and I siphon down their ideas and I get them organized and figure out what's going to move the needle forward in their business.
Yeah.
So those two kind of relate to, right? It's the same process when you walk into a cluttered home or a cluttered room and you see, boxes and bags everywhere and you can't even see the floor because it's just covered in clutter. And it's the same with a business. If you look at the back end of somebody's email system or their CRM or their accounting process, and you're seeing this just clutter, this just mess that needs to be decluttered and prioritized and organized, I'm able to apply those same principles from the home organization to the B2B, which is really cool.
Yeah. And so before we go any further, I wanted to walk through this, not because everyone's a professional organizer or a consultant that's listening, but again, these principles that Melisa, your strengths, your process, and you're able to apply that into whatever situation you go into. And this is, really the essence of a personal brand and self-awareness. And I think everyone listening, whether you are a school teacher or a personal coach or a personal chef, like there are principles that you can map into new offers if you're willing to, see the relationship like you're sharing. So keep going. I hope we're inspiring some connections for listeners.
Yes, you can always grow and build. Like, even if you're a personal chef, it's like write a cookbook, start a podcast. There's so much that you can do. Start holding cooking classes in your neighborhood. There's so much. So that being said, holding live events, I started a local networking group here in San Diego. So like I said, it's a pretty huge community of entrepreneurs. There's quite a large territory here in San Diego, but I was finding that there was a hole in the market for people like me that weren't in the itty bitty baby stages of their business. They've kind of been in business for maybe 2 to 5 years. They're building, they're growing their teams, and they're sick of just the frothy, fluffy, kind of like boss babe movement.
Let's go to paint night.
No, thank you. Yeah, I do not want to paint. I want to go there,
make shit happen.
Exactly. I want to take action in my business. I want to have, actionable tips and tricks that I walk away from, whether it's a conference or an event or a live workshop. I want to leave that with some sort of ROI of my time, right? Your time is your most valuable asset. And if I'm going to go to, 20 networking meetings a month, because there are that many that I could be going to in San Diego, if not more, I want to make sure that every single one I go to is going to give me value. And so I wasn't finding that. And I decided to create my own group. So right now I'm in the process of monetizing that group. It's been free up until this point, and we've had an incredible turnout. Tomorrow is one of our next meetups, and I'm supposed to have over 100 people attend. So right now we're working on monetizing and kind of siphoning down the types of people that are going to attend these events.
Okay. Yes. So we've got in-person support for other people who are figuring out how to make shit happen. We have consulting for business owners who need to get organized. We have mentoring other people on the business model you built originally, professional home organizers. And then we still have the opportunity to get our home organized inside of this. And so while you just took a few minutes to lay that out and we understood some of the relationships, how do you make sure an audience, like maybe people who just see your Instagram every other day, how do you help your followers and your audience and your local community understand everything you just talked out?
Yeah, so it's been a process, right? It's trying to keep everybody in that basket so that they don't start straying away like, okay, you're doing 5,000 things, I don't understand, I'm confused. That's the worst feeling for a consumer or a client to have, right? You don't want to have confusing messaging or unclear copywriting or branding that's all over the place. So what I've really made it a point to deliver is clear branding and, clear messaging, copywriting, colors, fonts, styles, my logo, just the way that I speak. Anybody that I hire, whether it's a VA or, a coach or a storytelling consultant, I make sure that my voice is always there, no matter if I'm talking about the networking group or my speaking gigs or my courses or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's something I love about you, Melissa. We'll be like brainstorming, like, okay, like how can we articulate this new offer? Or like, should we make a different Instagram? You know, like we bounce around a lot of ideas, and she'll literally just be like, okay, updated. What do you think of this new like tab on my website? And I love how it's so true. Like you make shit happen, and taking those actions, you know, as much as we can strategize and yes, talk about copywriting, I think that putting something out there and again, seeing the feedback that you get, whether it's money on the table or it's people saying like, wait, do you still do home organizing? As just indicators to, oh, I can make an update, and never etching your, you know, your website or your content. Like I only say these things on Tuesdays into stone. But to just being honest and transparent and evolving with your brand as offers change.
Yes.
Good. So we've talked a lot about like how you making shit happen, right? And for listeners, Melissa, I mean, the things we've talked about have been within the last year. I mean, she built her organizing business in 2018, and now here we are with this much bigger brand in 2019. So I know you were burnt out in your corporate life, but have you faced burnout as an entrepreneur yet?
Oh yeah, for sure. I went through a period where I was debating whether or not to go back to a six-figure corporate position. So what I've learned in entrepreneurship is that this is a long game. You're not going to have 10,000 Instagram followers overnight. You're not going to be making $10,000 a month overnight. It's truly is a long game, and it's that building process where you have to find the joy of the journey. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're just going to burn yourself out.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's so interesting. Like, as we've talked about, like, okay, would I rather have a boss who's telling me what to do and have the paycheck, or would I rather be on this journey, like, and curious where the paycheck is going to come from? And yeah, shifting that mindset to like, okay, do something, get rewarded, as opposed to be on a journey where I'm always getting feedback, learning, and growing.
Yeah. And I think it's, you know, it's a little bit of self-sacrifice. What I always recommend my mentorship girls that are just starting out their professional organizing businesses and aren't sure if they're going to be able to make it and leave their corporate job is I recommend creating a survive and a thrive budget. So, you know, in my thriving days of working for a top Forbes company and making six figures with like the corner office as that, you know, corporate career gal, I wasn't fulfilled, but I sure had a hell of a lot more money, you know? So it's about creating that survive and thrive budget. And right now I'm living in my survive budget, which has, you know, taken some adjusting, but I think happiness is the return on investment of this.
Oh, I love that. Happiness is the ROI for sure. So another piece I think about when I'm trying to avoid burnout or doing my best to stay energized is to always have something that I'm excited about. And for me, and maybe for you too, that often comes in the form of something new or developing a different idea. So what are you most excited about right now in your business?
I would say speaking gigs. I mean, you have helped me so much in creating my media kit and my sizzle reel, my press page, my pitch emails. I've spoken at 6 free events already this year. I'm joining Toastmasters, which is a really cool speaking group that just teaches you like the basics and fundamentals of professional speaking. And, you know, when I close my eyes and map out a vision for what my future is going to look like, within seconds can see myself clearly speaking on stages. So, you know, not only do I have this kind of foundational business layer, but now I think it's a matter of actually getting out there and impacting more lives in the entrepreneurial community.
I love it. Yes, I see it too.
Yay!
All right. So we are already making shit happen. You're already giving us so many like nuggets and ideas. And I really do hope that people are thinking about ways that they can leverage their expertise and their experiences to constantly be at least envisioning that next stream of income or that next level of service and value that they're creating in their business. But we're reaching the pop quiz section of the show. So I just have 3 last quick questions for you.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is, what is an action, like something listeners can do today that will help them get closer to their dream life?
So my degree is in sociology and I'm NLP certified, and I obviously love humans or I wouldn't do what I do, but I recommend taking simple personality tests to get to know yourself better. Entrepreneurship has been really the biggest lesson in personal development and growth for me in my lifetime. And I've learned so much about my skills and weaknesses through just the trial and error of exploring new business ideas and profit models. But at the end of the day, if you don't know yourself, you're not going to be able to serve your clients. And so I do recommend taking a free Myers-Briggs type indicator test or an Enneagram quiz, and those are free, or you can do the inexpensive Strengths Finders or DISC assessments.
Yes. And ironically, super fun fact, you and I were just talking earlier, and we're both introverts. I am INFJ, and you are?
INTJ.
I know. And I think we're just going to blow people away with how much we can talk and achieve, and we just are still introverts.
And then I'm going to go nest and hibernate for the next 2 hours and I'll be good.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, great. The second question is, if you were to hand listeners a gift, like some tangible resource, what would you want to give them to help them achieve their dreams faster?
I think just believing in yourself and believing in your message and cutting that self-doubt. I am a huge believer that action cures fear. And I think when we're on the fence, I go to a Pat Flynn meetup here in San Diego. He lives here locally and holds a monthly meetup at WeWork where I have a space. And Pat Flynn is just an incredible human being to be able to give free meetups out to the community. Like he just shows up and he's just like, hey, I'm Pat Flynn, you know? And what he always says is being on the fence is a really uncomfortable position. And it's so true. I mean, if you think about it, think of yourself high up on this like 10-foot barbed wire fence. Is that a comfortable place to be? No, it's really not. So you need to take action, pick a side, be decisive, and that's going to cure your self-doubt.
Oh, yes. Okay. And then this leads us perfectly into question number 3. And that is, how can people take action, get in touch with you, and learn more about all that you do?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at Let's Get You Organized. And if you head over to www.letsgetyouorganized.biz, you can grab my free checklist titled 6 Quick Ways to Get Your Business Organized.
And you guys, when Melisa puts something out, it is massive value. So I was even saying when you were talking about like, don't be on the fence, like just go to Melisa's Instagram and you will have action steps and be making shit happen even just by hanging out with her virtually. So yeah, you are a rock star. And I do hope people take advantage of getting connected with you and getting their life and their business organized, because we know it all goes hand in hand.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yes. And friends, I'll be back next week with another inspiring guest that helps make your dream life your real life.
You've been learning how to make your dream life your real life with Hannah Hermanson. To get the resources mentioned on today's show and to listen to past episodes, visit www.dreamlifeisreallife.com.